Hey, I'm Jim Weber in the Fox 13 Weather Center. Thanks for logging on to MyFoxHurricane.com. So we've been talking about this throughout the week. Things are getting more active in the tropics. Now, talking about three different areas. One, I have to be a little bit of a concern with it just because it could be affecting some land areas. But first up, you look out into the middle Atlantic. This is Invest 97. In the short term, doesn't look like it's going to see a whole lot of development with it, but eventually conditions will become more favorable that we could see some development with this system as we head, say, towards the weekend. I think a better chance. That's where the conditions, the wind shear starts to let up a little bit, and there we could see some additional development with that. Good news is it's out over open water, so no concern there. Then you look further out into the Atlantic. This is Invest 98, and again, in the short term, it looks like I'm not going to see a whole lot of development with this, only putting about a 20 to 30% chance. And even if it were to develop, at this point, it looks like it'll be working its way out over open water. But that's something we'll continue to at least just keep an eye on. Now, the other one that we're watching is working its way through the Caribbean. This is the one that we have to watch a bit closer. Here's a closer view of this, and you can see quite a bit of convection with this, and it does look like conditions will continue to be pretty favorable, that we'll see some additional development with this. Now, what it's going to do is it is going to continue to work its way on that westerly direction, very close to the Yucatan, and then it looks like it'll start to head maybe a little bit more towards the northwest. So that means instead of heading towards Mexico, heading through the central Gulf of Mexico, and that's where we have to watch it anytime you get something into the Gulf of Mexico. Now, the problem is, as you look at all the different computer models, you're really seeing a pretty big widespread in this, because you notice when you have that kind of, we don't actually have that closed center. You don't have a real good definite starting point. So if you don't have a good starting point, you have a very disorganized system, well, you're going to get a lot of different solutions. So you have some solutions taking it over the Yucatan. You have some taking it up towards, say, the western tip of Cuba. And obviously, you could shoot right in between that as well. But notice that general idea, it's not moving towards that westerly direction, it's moving a bit more towards the northwest, and that means we could be affecting the northern Gulf Coast as we move it along in time. That's why we have to watch this. Still staying to our west here in Florida, but it still could affect the U.S. So that's why we're going to watch this pretty closely as we go through the next several days. Here's Futurecast, just kind of giving you an idea. This is obviously just one of the computer models, one of the possible solutions working its way through the Gulf of Mexico. But just remember that idea. If you get a tropical system in the Gulf of Mexico and you have the right conditions, a low wind shear, we already have plenty of warm water in place, there's that potential for something to strengthen quite a bit. And that's why we're going to watch this pretty closely as we head through the weekend and into next week. And obviously there's going to be a lot more to come on this as we go through the coming days, and we'll keep you updated right here on MyFoxHurricane.com.